Hello, everyone. Welcome to Unity for All. I'm Alex.
Hi, I'm Mariela.
And today we are here to talk about September. So, the energy of September, we're going to talk about things that we've been hearing and learning about that's coming up, whether it's through astrology or energy work. We'll also pull some cards for this month and talk about how that's also just impacting our journey and how it might be impacting yours too. So, Mariella, did you want to kick us off?
Let's begin with what energies we have felt around like in the last weeks and maybe today.
Hmm.
And so, do you want to start? Because I always start.
Um, yeah, well, I know when I think of, so astrologically, we know like a lot has been happening and a lot is happening. And it's funny when we talked last month, it felt like there was this ability to move through the intensity that was rising. And I'm not saying that's gone. But I recognize for myself, the intensity is like building in which I'm facing, and it's a little bit harder to move through than it has been. But I've been really like impressed with myself that I've been able to um deal with the different things, especially around relationships, um, and making some decisions for my future, looking like long term financially. So, thinking about kind of going back to school, which really resonates with that um, you know,
Venus.
Venus retrograde stuff, and even the Taurian energy that's going on with Uranus still, and um and then like the relationship stuff is very clearly rising in me. But one thing I've actually been really fascinated by is the Piscean energy. So I have a Pisces moon, which means sometimes my emotional self is a lot. It can also mean that I'm highly intuitive. It can also mean that I can get lost in fantasy or illusion and things like that. Um, but with the Saturn and Pisces, we talked about this, I think in March or April when it first started. This shift with Pisces and Saturn is going to allow for, I heard it said really well that it's going to create a little bit more of a container for the Piscean energy, because Piscean energy is about like the consciousness and expansiveness and really what we're going through, like this unfolding of awareness. But we need to have, or we don't need to, but it's good to have boundaries around it, or like routines, so like that there's some type of structure to support it instead of it just being like all over the place, and how we can like actually foster it. And I feel like when I'm experiencing the world around me right now, that is so clear because I'm seeing everything get reflected back at me, and I'll be having conversations with clients, and they'll literally be saying the words I had recently said to myself or that I'd been thinking of, and they're saying it to me about their life, and I'm like, "Wow, nice to see you."
Such a nice connection.
Like, it's just so interesting how we're all really reflecting each other, and we're all going through the similar experiences, even if our lives look so different.
Hmm.
So that idea of our life, the only life that I can see is my own, but I see it through the reflections of my world. And that type of awareness or consciousness seems to be really strong for me, which I'm trying to trust and respect and honor. Um, because it's really easy to fall into the trap, like things aren't moving fast enough, things aren't changing the way I want them to, like I still don't have all the things I want, I'm not doing this right, I'm. So I've noticed that energy, and but as I'm watching everybody around me, I'm noticing everybody else is kind of hitting these interesting points of elevating self in a really neat way. Because, like, again, we're all doing it differently, but it's like our life experiences are pushing us to like level up a little bit more. And it's really cool to be watching. So when I think of the time continuing to come, especially for this month, because we've known astrologically that it gets heavy right into September. I remember everybody talking about like, you know, July, August, September. And I'm not sure like if it's just what it what all of the exact things were, but we have so many things retrograding. But that I think about how this is going to increase even more. And I'm just really curious about what that is actually going to look like in real time for myself and for like everybody around me. It's kind of exciting, kind of scary because it can be tiring. But that's what I've been noticing in my life. And when I put kind of the pieces of the energy together that's been flowing, that's kind of something I've been recognizing. And a lot of that is new for me. Like it's new in my heightened awareness of it all. It's very interesting. I don't know. Did that answer your question?
Yeah, and then probably you're feeling a lot of the Saturn and the Pisces because rising sign Capricorn and
My moon
your moon in Pisces.
my moon is
But
so and
also,
my first house. It's like, whew,
oh,
yeah.
interesting.
Mm.
And so while I was listening to you, something just came in my mind because you have been working a lot with relationship stuff, right? And you know Lilith, right?
Wow. You know what? Tell me more about Lilith, because I do know about Lilith. But you know what? I probably don't when people talk about Lilith, I don't listen as strongly to it because I don't fully understand, but I know she is powerful and I know she is very shadow, like I don't want to say she's shadowy, but like strong. When I think of like Aries, I
She's a
think,
rebel.
yeah, I think of like a female Aries energy kind of
So
thing.
you know that she was partner with Adam, right? From the
Oh,
Genesis, Adam and Eve.
okay.
She was the previous partner.
Mm-hmm.
Eve came later. And so, but that's not in the Bible. And so Lilith, according to the mythology, she wasn't a type of female that would just do whatever Adam wanted, or
Mm,
she wouldn't do everything to please him. She would stand on her own strength and she would do what she thought that was best.
mm,
And that energy is coming. So
mhm,
I think you have been feeling that. And I think maybe other people are going to also stand strongly this month or maybe next month, because I heard that this energy is mostly coming up with the last full moon in Aries,
mm, okay.
because that's like that strong, powerful, independent
Mhm,
energy that
yeah,
will stand for what they believe.
mhm. Makes sense with the Libra aspect as well, like that energy of Aries and Libra. Mm,
Yeah.
oh.
Yeah.
And that's interesting because, I feel like I've only started hearing about Lilith like in the last 2 years. I remember the first person I heard talking about it was Pam Gregory,
Mm,
touch into Lilith.
yeah.
And this woman who does rewilding women or women rewilding or
Yeah.
something like that.
Hmm.
Um, and just more and more people are talking about Lilith because I think the way it's entering into the system, so now it's having a bigger role is what I've been.
Yeah. And she has like a bad reputation because people think of her as, because she was a rebel, she was almost like connected to the underworld.
Mhm.
And so people don't like that.
Mm. Mhm.
Um, I used to have a kinship family. The mom really liked Lilith, the bio mom.
Mm.
And then when the baby girl was born, she named her after Lilith, Lilith.
Mm.
And the kinship grandparents who got the girl afterwards, they were really religious and Catholic.
Mm.
And so they really were really scared of that name. And so they changed the name of the girl when they adopted her into just Lily. But
Wow.
she's not really bad.
No. Isn't that interesting to think about? I know I'm side tangenting into the patriarchy
Yeah,
and
the
a
female
big
power.
part of it. It's like, "Oh, don't take that energy away from her." I know a name is a name, but actually a name is our names are powerful, right? It's language that's powerful. Oh, that's so sad. I mean, hopefully that doesn't mean she won't embody that in her lifetime. She'll rebel against it, like a
Yeah,
Lilith.
maybe. Because the little girl, she decided when she was 5 or 6 to change the name, which was about the time when she was adopted, because she thought that what her grandparents were saying was true.
Oh.
But we will see. Yeah, and the energies that I feel, that I have seen, um, it almost like things are. Have you felt like these entanglements are getting untangled, like slowly? Things
Yeah,
that we thought that were becoming problems are becoming solved, or like lights going in there,
yeah,
or people are figuring things out.
yes. 100%, yes, yeah.
Because, like, with my families, I, of course, I guide them, I support them, I'm there with them. But it's almost like they, everything is just happening the way that everything is just going the right way.
Mm,
And I just have this feeling like everything that was happening in the past, the way things were happening, totally is changing to a
mm,
new something.
mhm, yeah,
I don't know how to explain. And then connections with other people are getting really, really nice. Like,
mm,
people are understanding each other more. Um, there was a lot of like things happening, problems, crises up until last week. And now it's everything going down. Almost, I feel like we're getting ready for one more roll backwards. And then on 2024, we're supposed to start looking at how do we maintain what we learned that
mhm,
is good from what happened in the past, and making progress towards something more spiritual.
mhm. Yeah, I definitely get that,
Yeah,
and I
that feeling.
and I've been hearing that in a lot of things that I've been listening to as well.
Mm.
Now, have you been feeling that way in your family dynamics, in your personal life?
Well, I heard in one of the YouTube videos to just watch whatever happens from now.
Mm,
And like, I've heard this twice this year in 2 different times. But now it's like you're going to be immersed in whatever happens in your life.
mhm,
Um, but you're going to be okay.
mhm.
Just
Yeah,
remember that you're going to be okay.
yeah,
It's not that this time you have to be objective or stay out of it. No, just go through it but it's going to be fine.
Mm, I like that. I was sharing with Mariella before we got on the call, like, I know I was speaking of, like, these reflections of stuff which are so true in all my life areas, whether it's at work or my personal life, like, with my parents or, um, like, friends or people I'm in a relationship with, like, these are some really unique experiences and dynamics I've been experiencing, and I'm really grateful for it, but I'm also experiencing, like, the retrograde of Venus, which has been really painful, like, very ouchy, ouchy in my heart. Um, and, so I know yeah. So to everybody out there who might listen, although sometimes we talk about, like, these really cool things that are taking place, there can be it's like I'm trying to hold everything. Like, the more I'm able to be like, "Okay, there's this, and there's this, and there's this, and there's this," I can hold it all, but there are days when I can't hold it all, and it's just like this one piece is, like, everything. And so, especially, like, with the pain and the shadow and, like, the unhealed wounds and trauma of relational stuff, I feel is, like, whoa, really present and taking up a big piece of my heart right now, and it hurts so bad. Um, and so that's when it's, like, hard to stay, like, regulated and, um, connected and observant or aware, and it can be really hard too.
Yeah, it can be overwhelming when you are immersed in those emotions. For
Mhm.
me, it's usually coming from like after visiting a family where there was a crisis.
Mm.
So I come home, I just give it all to Milton and go to sleep. Sorry, he's my husband.
And just for
So
anybody
then
who
he is like tossing and turning the whole night. Like, oh my God, why did it happen? Now what can we do?
and just for anybody who might be new to us, we both work in the social service field, so we work with a lot of people, in challenging situations. So,
Yeah. And
um,
Alex does groups
yeah,
for
I do more
help
group work with women, and she works with
in
kinship
home. No, I'm not with kinship anymore.
Oh, right, sorry. But you do family support, family
And
support.
sometimes I get kinship families too. Yeah, in home support.
Yeah,
So it's more personal.
yeah, yeah. So many interesting things. And what were some key things that you've heard from the things you've been listening to that would be really good to remember or to know or to be mindful of or think about? Or
Mm.
I mean, you've already
So
said a few things, but is there anything
yeah,
else?
with so we just passed the blue moon, right?
Mm,
And that was in Pisces.
mhm.
Uh, it's going to happen again in 2037. Um, and you know how this saying happens like every, say it,
Once in a blue moon.
once in a blue moon. Yeah, because it doesn't happen so much. So it was a very special blue moon. And um in Pisces, it talks a lot about creativity, imagination, compassion, empathy. Um, what else, Alex? You just said the same. You were describing yourself.
Intuitive.
Intuitive, that's right. And so,
Dreamer, the it can
yeah,
also be dreamer, fantasy, or the illusion, or like higher consciousness and spirit, like spirituality is a big part of
yeah, I,
very last astrological um symbol in the chart. It's the very last one. So the idea is it's the most expanded.
yeah, yeah. And so it's about water, it's about emotions. Um, and I heard that it can be one of the most generous
Mm.
signs in the zodiac. And so all these things are coming up. The energy of full moon, it's covering a little bit before it starts, and I think for 2 to 3 weeks after.
Mm.
And so it will be mixed with the first um with the new moon that is coming in Virgo on the 14th, and then the full moon in Aries at the end of the month. And so with Virgo, like you were saying, we are starting to feel like we need to be more organized and more look into details, practical, like going back to school, putting attention to everything that you're doing, but to make sure that it's accurate, that it's in order, things like that. And I have been feeling that too. I'm like, yesterday, I was telling Milton, I think it's time to just get rid of everything that is old. So I'm on vacation at the end of the month, and that's one of my goals. Just get rid of everything that doesn't need to be here.
Mm-hmm.
And then, yeah, the full moon that is coming on the 29th of September, um, that will be very powerful too.
Mm-hmm.
This is that Aries fire energy that is coming. And
Mm-hmm.
so all mixed together with, that creativity and the imagination that you have right now. And then with fighting for what you believe and being strong and independent, going out to the streets. I don't know if that literally will happen, but I think people will feel like they want to do what is right. Like,
Mm-hmm.
even at work, if this is not working, I don't think it should be this way. Let's do it this way.
Mm-hmm. Oh, that'd be so great. Um, some things to kind of build on that is when I think of all the retrogrades that are happening. I mean, you kind of talked to like Uranus. I love Uranus because, it's all about making drastic change. And Uranus has been doing all kinds of beautiful, amazing things since 2018, everybody. It welcomed in the beginning of this transformation we are all experiencing. Um, so a lot of those outer planets are doing a lot of big work, and they're doing that for years to come because they're doing major shifts. And so with Uranus just going retrograde, so I think there's seven, I think they say seven planets retrograde, like all at once, like right now in this moment. And so it's like, it's this amazing time for like reevaluation, reflection, re-looking at things, because it's that standstill, that opportunity to look. But it's on bigger things, deeper things, because those outer planets, the idea is they're deeper levels of our consciousness, or deeper levels of like societal issues, or the deep levels of conditioning that happen inside us on the many levels in which we experience life. And so that these big shifts continue to happen, I'm just like, yeah, this month, let's do
Yeah.
it.
And so I think it's Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto that are going retrograde, right?
Gosh, what else
Jupiter.
is
And
going on?
so um when it's a retrograde is reviewing, right? And instead of acting or doing something, it's also going inside. So one of the recommendations I heard is that if you are not meditating yet or doing some type of activity that gives you that feeling of meditation, like it could be walking, it could be um, just breathing, it could be while you're cooking, while you're washing the dishes, while you're listening to music. but that is really important right now.
Mm,
And so with Jupiter going retrograde, it's usually a planet of expansion, and it's usually really positive, right? In
mhm,
retrograde, you're going inside and checking on that.
mhm,
And then with Saturn, they were saying government can be a big thing coming up too, like between September, October, with restrictions of some kind, but more in terms of money.
mm,
And then with Uranus, is going to bring a lot more of truths out in the light. So that will be very interesting. And, it can be explosions and earthquakes and things like that. And Neptune is imagination and is adventures, is
quality.
discoveries, science, going farther. And so we will see new things coming up as well. I am so excited with all the discoveries that they make every time.
Mhm. Well, and that's
Um,
why I find like that Uranus energy also is supportive of that because it's like um Uranus happens like change through destruction, I believe is what it is. And Pluto is change through transformation. And that the through destruction we rebuild something, but it's like it can be so surprising, but in such a good way. Like, and I think everything's moving fast enough because I keep hearing everybody say like things aren't slowing down. We've been feeling that things aren't slowing down. We're not having this integration time, but we're learning how to integrate faster. That's something that Pisces can help with is the integration of mind and spirit and like
mhm.
allow consciousness to rise is when we can take those pieces and then have them come together.
Yeah. And then with Virgo, just keeping your feet on the ground,
Yes. Yes.
which is a nice balance with Pisces
Yes, 100%.
and being organized.
Yes. So I heard you get a little buzz on your phone, and I know you have some plans coming up here. So let's go ahead and pull some cards. Mariella pulls from um, some lovely decks. So Blessed Be. Ooh, the Power Art Archangel tarot cards that are in Virtue
Mm-hmm.
and the Earth Magic. Okay. Oh, and the Sacred Destiny. Okay, I wasn't sure if
Yeah.
you're all four of those or if you're just doing three. Okay.
Yeah, it's three of the each, but Blessed Be will have one of it. Oh, sorry. The tarot will have three of on its own.
Okay.
What are you having?
I have two. One will be from the Osho deck, which was requested by Mariella, and the Spirit Wheel
Mm-hmm.
Station deck, which is a newer deck to me, that was gifted by a lovely coworker of mine. Um, so would you like to start off? I always love when you pull cards and the cards you get always feel quite resonant.
Okay, so the Blessed Be card that I got is number 7, a blessing on the senses that give the world to you.
Mm,
And so we were talking about, your um psychic or intuition skills that is coming up also for everybody. Like you will discover things or you will make whatever you know stronger.
mm,
And it's very interesting because Alex was telling me about a person that was indigenous in one of her breathwork groups that she had last time. And a shaman came up
mm,
ancient healing wisdom. That
Mm,
is like really so nice.
yeah,
Because it just feels like, the old knowledge is also
yeah,
coming back.
yeah, and it's not like when you say knowledge, I'm gonna turn that into wisdom
Wisdom. Yeah.
because wisdom is learned through like experience.
Yeah. And
And
I
actually, I've been hearing tons of that, like that we're doing ancestral healing, but that the ancient lines are coming forward to share. That's really cool.
and I got two cards of the Blessed Be, sorry. It's another old person,
Yeah.
and it's a blessing on growing older, but she has like all the Mother Earth
Hmm.
symbols around her.
Hmm.
And with the shaman, all that wisdom, like Alex was saying, all that is coming back. We
Yeah.
have grown so much.
Hmm.
And then I think we have to be really like paying attention to our dreams
Yeah.
and what you feel, your gut feeling. Um, yeah, I'm not sure. It's also like almost like surreal. We're like turning into something more spiritual, it feels. And then the power card
Hmm.
with the thunder. Oh, we had the worst thunder storm like 3 nights ago here in Calgary. Like many people couldn't sleep
Mm.
because it was like long thunders
Oh, wow.
and very strong and one after the other. And so the next day, many people were really grumpy, really tired.
Hmm.
For
We
the
actually had that here on Thursday after the full moon. So many people came into work like, I'm so tired. I didn't sleep last night. So tired. I'm like, yo, man, that full moon was a doozy.
Yeah,
A
it
lot of
was. It
energy.
was actually that night. Yeah, the full moon night.
Mhm.
Yeah, and so for past, I got a positive new emotional experience, fulfilling romantic relationships, deep and lasting spiritual insights. That's the Ace of Raphael.
Thank you, Mariella. Was that just for me? Anybody else feel
Yeah, that's for you. And so the Ace of Raphael is the same as the Ace of Cups.
okay? Yeah.
And so it's about emotion, the beginning, connection between people. There is two dolphins in the back jumping together. There's water all over. And right now we're just in this Four of Michael. I think it's a Four of Spades.
Oh,
And insights that come from quiet meditation, the need for more sleep or time off, seek relief from stress. Yeah. Is right now we're on a break.
hmm.
So have a good rest.
Yeah, I've heard with Lou Harris, he was talking about breakthroughs and breakdowns, but the breakdowns are around needing rest, like, and how much
Yeah.
rest with what is taking place.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I heard the same thing. And I have been tired lately and sleeping more, like
Mm.
during the day, having a nap just this past week. And then for the future, for the rest of September, it's Four of Raphael, which is like the Four of Cups. Seek
Mm.
out other possibilities. Look for the magic in life. Be aware of your own emotions.
Mm.
And we are working on new possibilities.
Mm. Oh, yes. Oddly enough, she looks kind of sad.
I think she is looking at the, how do you call it?
At the shells?
Yeah. Like very loving. It's almost like she's
Mm,
touching with softness. I don't see her being sad just from looking closer,
mhm.
but it could be.
Yeah.
She has to leave old possibilities behind and she has to look at the new ones.
Yeah. Some reverence or longing or
Mm-hmm.
and sorry, which one was that? That was
Four of Raphael, like a Four of Cups.
the current one or that's the future one?
This is the future for the rest of September.
Okay.
Your turn.
Okay. So I just pulled for September itself. And I actually did we pulled this, I don't know. This one is so become very familiar to me from the Osho deck.
Intensity.
So this is a fire card, which would be a wand, I believe. Is that right?
Looks like a spark of electricity.
Yeah. So it's about, I was gonna say intensity. It's about focus, like really focused one point attention, how it creates in that capacity for intention. Um, yeah, that one. Yeah, I
No, it
just.
doesn't have a form, but it has a goal.
Mm-hmm. Yes. And then I pulled Butterfly Clan, and it says mental clarity, awakening, and beauty. So that awakening piece, um, like obviously of the butterfly and transformation. Um, but then it made me think of the Blessed Bee on the senses in terms of because she was quite beautiful. And our senses can, yeah, look how beautiful she is. Our senses are an amazing way to ground and connect and feel. They're also a way that we can distract and kind of exit present moment or like, attach ourselves to more addictive wanting and craving. But when we like rest into like the beauty of it, the beauty of taking in the world and those senses is really really nice. So that card made me think of that card actually. um but mental clarity, very air energy. So yeah, so those
Yeah.
are my cards.
What is it called? Butterfly clan. You know, like as a civilization, we are one clan, and we're transforming into this beautiful butterfly. That's coming to my mind.
Hmm.
And you know how it looks like it's cold in there?
It does, doesn't it? um
What's she doing there in the winter?
a mountain and a river and um yeah, but it does look like winter, doesn't it? I think a lot of the cards actually just look like this, but
Because of the blues.
yeah, I think these are just the shades. Like, yeah, I just like this one, Grandmother Moon.
Ooh.
Yeah, right. Oh my goodness. Yes, self-reflection, inner rhythms, and
Probably, do you think the ancestors are trying to come through?
I think so. I think they have like, and it can, and I'm also curious, like when we think of time, and I know we've talked about this before, but like we talk about ancestors, like people who've come before who maybe like understand the earth and understand like rhythms and patterns, or even like ancient ancestors, like before this current timeline, um, like that we know it, like maybe after, like, before this recent ice age where these humans came from or whatever. But I also wonder if like I know ancestors, we talk about the past, but what about future ancestors? Do you know what I mean? like people from the future,
Ah, yeah, coming back.
yeah, coming back and sharing wisdom. Like,
Yeah.
it's a type of ancestor in a sense, like, they're ancestor because 'cause they're a part of our lineage, but they're from a different time, just
Mhm.
different location and time besides the past.
Yeah, they are our descendants, but as ancestors at the same time.
Yeah, so I guess that's the word, descendants.
But also what comes to my head is that wisdom from the ancestors that live with us, like the earth, the trees, the animals, the
Mhm.
clouds,
Yeah.
the stars, the aliens.
When are they coming? There's supposed to be actually another shift with Aquarius coming up
Mm,
because there was like a shift. I forget what sign it was. It kind of shifted one way and then shifted back, and then it's going to go back in Aquarius and be a part of things again. So I'm like, when will this? Because they always say Aquarius and aliens go together.
mm.
I'm like, when is this next? Like, because yeah, it went retrograde back into I think Capricorn, and then it's going to push back into Aquarius or something, or something shifted and is doing something. I forget. I don't remember. Mine is full, and my heart is tired.
Yeah,
That was it.
wisdom is coming to us.
Yeah.
Embrace it.
Yeah. So rest, but like rest as in like yes, get lots of sleep. Yes, take care of your body. But like you have to do that while you're still moving forward.
Yeah, connect to your senses, connect to your inside.
Mhm. Yeah, because it's not gonna slow down where it's like, "Oh, I can take a break now." It's like, "No, that's not gonna
Not
happen."
yet.
No, I don't think there's gonna be
Or,
any breaks. I think we're just gonna get used to the intensity, but
ah,
we're going to learn how to stay in the intensity with ease, but it's different practices and different, like, clearings and learnings that are gonna support it, but it can be exhausting in that process.
yeah. And as we slow down inside, everything will slow down outside.
Yes, that present moment awareness, but that present moment awareness can create intensity. Um,
Yes.
oh, the wonderful things of this chaotic and interesting life. I'm happy to share it with you, Mariella,
Mm, yeah, very nice.
and everyone else who might be joining us today and listening and sharing with us. So we will say goodbye for today. It is September 2nd, 2023. Oh,
A good rest.
yeah. And we will see you in a month's time.
Yeah. See you next time.
See you next time.
Bye.